Hey, we are. Oh, there we are. We're live. Hey, what's
There we
happening?
go.
World Wrestling Live. We're here with the 2 o'clock show. It's Friday. We've made it again, and I've got another unbelievable wrestling coach, wrestler, wrestling mind in our country. It's Coach Angel Escobedo, head coach at IU since 2018. He's the most successful wrestler in IU history. He's he's the only four-time All-American in IU history. He was a 2008 NCAA champ, second in career wins. He was a four-time state champ in Indiana, 223-1 in high school, and competed at the world level. And the rest is history. He's here with us today, coaching his alma mater, Coach Angel Escobedo. Thank you so much. I hope I said your name right.
Yeah, you did. You got it spot on. Not many people get it spot on that first try, but that's a good one right there. So no, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man, welcome. I definitely your name is spoken about. I've heard about it just by doing the show, and I know people that are happy to see IU getting put back on the map and having
Right.
their own there doing it. So good for you. And first of all, times are different, man. What have you been doing through this this COVID to keep your guys ready and prepared for when we're back out of this?
Yeah, I mean, what we've been doing is we do Zoom calls once a week, and we've just been trying to find different ways on how to better ourselves as wrestlers. I tell them, this is an opportunity to take advantage of this situation and find different ways to train. So whether it's that's watching film, other people's film, breaking down your own film, just kind of taking a step back from the sport and getting to appreciate and understand wrestling on another level. So, I've sent them videos of world level guys, college level guys, and gave them a couple of things to look at just so that they're always thinking about wrestling.
Man, good. And yeah, and I think that's what most coaches like yourself, I think that's basically all you can do right now, right?
Yeah, we can't be hands-on at all. So that's a challenge, and we don't even know when we can be hands-on. So right now I'm just doing what I can and trying to find unique ways in this time. It's even though, there's a lot of uncertain times, I think you can always try to find the positives in things. And I think one of the big things is communication, right? We've been able to communicate, get on Zoom calls, build just better relationships. And that helps out from a coach athlete perspective.
Yeah, and well, talk a little bit about your seniors. I mean, did you have some seniors that advanced to the show, and or any year student that advanced the show, and you had to sit there and kind of break the bad news to them?
Yeah, so we had two guys qualify. One Indiana guy, Graham Rooks, he's a freshman. And then we had Liam Cronin qualify as well. So we had those two guys go to nationals, and it was devastating. Both guys first time ever going to NCAA tournament. I mean, they're riding high. It's an accomplishment to get there. And so for me to break the news like, hey, your season's over, without getting the opportunity to compete at nationals, it was crushing, and I think for them, they were like, wait, are you being serious? Like, is this real?
Yeah.
And it was just sad, like, to tell them, yeah, this is real. I mean, right now at this moment, it's bigger than wrestling. People are losing their lives, and, this virus is something that is unknown. So I think, we just got to kind of sit back and appreciate our health, and that's the kind of perspective I try to, give to them, just because, you can't focus on all the negatives all the time.
Yeah, and that's good, because yeah, and I think you had underclassmen, but like some of these coaches that I talked to, where they had to walk into fifth year seniors, and
Yeah, that's tough.
yeah, they really broke their heart. But talk about getting back to your alma mater. I know initially you were an assistant, then you took over.
Yep.
And talk about your goals and plans to kind of bring IU back to where they should be?
Yeah, I mean, this was always a dream job for me. I was coaching at Iowa State, and I've always said if there is one job I've always wanted is to go back home and be in the state of Indiana at my alma mater. So when I got this opportunity to come here and coach, it was a blessing. And and then a year later to be able to be the head coach, it was everything that I could dream of. So what I'm trying to do is trying to build this program to where it was. This program has won a national title, and I truly believe it can again, and we can develop all Americans national champs. And the great thing is you could do it with Indiana kids, right? You could do it with the Indiana kids, getting them to stay home, stay in state, represent Indiana, and take it to the highest heights of national wrestling. So that's our goal, as a coaching staff. We said we want to build this program, national championship program, and then build a fan base where people could be proud of to compete in front of.
Yeah, and I mean, adding a kid like Brock Hudkins, who I had on coming to your program, number 6 in the nation last year at 125, which is an absolute buzzsaw, right? That weight class.
Right.
And I spoke to him a little bit. Unfortunate injury against the kid from Princeton, but I know you guys are expecting big things from him. And, and out of all of you, you had a freshman that made the show. You have a sophomore that made the show. Definitely growing in the right direction, huh? You beat some ranked this year, I saw.
Yeah, we are. We're, taking this, year by year, step by step. But, having Brock come back was huge, and the success he was having was amazing, and we're really looking forward to his leadership. As he's coming in next year, he's ranked. I saw one of the rankings. He's ranked 6th preseason. So, we're just excited. We're excited for what this team is going to be able to do. We got a lot of young Indiana studs. We don't have any seniors next year, which is crazy. It's a good thing and it's a scary thing because we're going to be inexperienced, but we're going to have a lot of youth, and these guys are hungry to take, Indiana to the top.
What's your opinion on the new Big Ten only?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I told my guys just to be ready for, unconventional season. There's no guarantees. There's no for sure. So to me, it wasn't surprising because I knew something like this was going to happen. Big Ten is trying to operate and keep the athletes safe, and that's our first priority. So, I think that's what we're going to try to do, and I think it can be done. I'm just hoping and praying for a season that these kids could go out there and compete.
Well, and it's not a bad conference.
For us, no, it's not, right? It's like you're getting the best of the best, and wrestling fans are going to love that, as far as just seeing a lot of Big Ten matches and, seeing the best of the best in the conference wrestling each other. And you got to think, now it's you won't be seeing anyone sitting out because we're all going to be fresh, and that's going to be our only thing is a Big Ten season for the regular season. So you're going to be seeing a lot of matchups that, number 1, number 2, or whatever guy wrestling each other in a dual meet.
It'll be the Big Tens every weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So
Maybe
it's going to be fun. It's going to be different, but it's fun.
Get the coaches to roll too, right?
Yeah, no way.
That's awesome. So, man, one thing that I'd like to ask is, talk about, first of all, recruiting, the type of athlete that you're looking for, and and the intangibles, and then also talk about how high school athletes can get noticed by a program like yourself, even if they're not a top 10 or 15, nationally ranked.
Yeah, those are great questions. I think it's really important for, high school athletes to understand, where programs are and what they're looking for. And for our program, we're looking for, kids that are great on and off the mat. So that's meaning, not getting in trouble, having great point average, good grades, great teammate. Coaches say great things about them because I'm big into culture. I think for you to have a successful program, you need to have a great culture. So you can't recruit a kid that say he's a really good wrestler, but a bad culture fit. I'm just not going to recruit him, if he's not going to mesh well with my team, because, we want to be a team unit. We're a family, and we can't disrupt that family. So, I'm asking coaches, I'm asking teammates, I'm asking, other people's, their opponents, like, how is so-and-so, how does he conduct himself? How is he after he wins? How is he after he loses? What's his work ethic and all those things. So it's more than just being a good wrestler, right? I think a lot of times high school kids just think, well, I'm a great wrestler. Every college program should recruit me. It's like, no, there's a lot more that go into it, because once you get to college, you're on your own. And so, having great character is going to play dividends on how successful you're going to be. So that's what we're looking for.
And it's funny, I talked to Terry Allison down at Terry Style in Georgia.
Yeah. Yep.
And, he said, there's times I have a All-American or whatever, but maybe D1 isn't for him because of
Right.
the size of the classes, because of the relationships, because of where he's going. He needs more of this, or sometimes I have maybe a kid that, man, he's on the brink and he looks like he can really get there. Now I may call a D1 program and say, hey, consider this kid. He's a good ethical kid. He's a good classmate,
Right.
but he's right on the brink of being, I think if he's around the right people, help him out. So it didn't necessarily, listening to him, it didn't say, okay, well, he's talented, so he's automatically D1, or he's
Right. Right.
so he's automatically not. It seems
Yeah.
like a lot that goes into what you guys
There
are.
is. And also on the coaches side, high school coaches or club coaches side, you got to understand that, they're not going to take a chance on someone that, might not make it. Right. So if I'm recruiting a kid and I call the club coach and I'm like, hey, coach, do you think this kid's going to make it? Is he a good fit? And if the coach says, yeah, but then when he gets on campus, the kid like starts screwing up, it's going to be next time, it's going to be hard for me to recruit another kid out of that club, So club coaches and high school coaches are really careful about who they want to, give names out to. Like, you got to be able to back it up. And so your other question on how they can, get noticed from Division I coaches, I would say each institution has a questionnaire, and basically you get on their website, you look at, you go to Indiana Wrestling, and there'll be a questionnaire that you can fill out, and it gives all the information, grade point average, where you're from, what your credentials are. And that at least gets you in the database that we can look through and say, oh, this kid has filled out all his stuff. And then on top of that, follow-up emails, emailing anybody on the coaching staff, and giving information on why you think you'll be a good fit for the program. I think communication is key. There's a lot of wrestlers out there, and it's hard to, go through every single wrestler. So you got to kind of do your part and, reaching out.
Yeah, and well said. I had I had someone on I don't know, this week that said, as a matter of fact, it was Coach Profit yesterday. He said that he feels terrible because there's all of a sudden a coach will see him at a tournament and be like, oh man, there was this really good kid, but because maybe monetarily wise he couldn't get to these tournaments, nobody knew him, and
Right.
nobody told him about him. So if you got kids out there that are like that are under the radar, take the initiative and shoot the video out, or especially
For sure.
I could
For
understand
sure.
20 years ago not being able to get in touch with somebody, but
Right.
now it seems like you can post a video and tag someone and they'll see it.
Yep, for sure. And that's a great way to put it. And yeah, I mean, for us college coaches, I mean, we're on the computer a lot, we're watching film a lot. So, why not shoot your video over? And you don't have to make it to all these big tournaments. There's so many tournaments. I mean, not this year, but normally there's a lot of tournaments going on, right? So if you can't make it to the big tournaments, maybe show, the tournaments that you can make it to. Some of your high school matches or whatnot. I think that's important too.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask you is, you competed at the youth level, the collegiate level, the national level, the world level.
Yep.
how did you handle losses, and how do you keep kids from being stuck on losses and teaching them to move on to the next match, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I had a great, I would say a great lesson when I was growing up. It was, I started off really hot in wrestling as far as like I was winning a lot and like thinking I was the man. I was gonna, like every kid, go undefeated. And then I hit a year when I think it was like sixth grade, and I started wrestling middle school kids. And I hit a year where I lost like, I don't even know, maybe 30 times in one year, most I've ever lost ever, and it was crushing. And I just remember like thinking, man, I'm not good anymore and all this. And, but, my coaches and what it taught me was that, losing is part of the sport. You got to reevaluate it, go back to work and fix it. And so from then on, it was always like losing is part of getting better, right? Losing is not the end game. Just because you lose a match doesn't mean that, you took 10 steps back, right? There's a lot of things that, could have went wrong that, maybe your next match don't go wrong. It's about trying to fix the things that you can control, whether it's your technique, your attitude, your weight cut. There's a lot of factors that go into wrestling. So that would just be my advice. And, in high school, I lost one time, and a lot of people always ask me this question. They always say, man, what was it like losing that one time? They would think that like, it was just so devastating that I would quit wrestling. And that's not the case. That one loss taught me more than all my wins. And
Yeah, but what's the one match you remember in high school?
yeah, it is the loss, right? I mean, that's just the reality of it. That's the one that sticks in your mind. And what it taught me was that, no matter how good you are, you got to keep working. There's always somebody else that wants to beat you, and that, that is just as hungry as you are, and just because I love winning doesn't mean that I'm always going to win. So, I was able to just move forward and, hit the next tournament. I got that one loss, but it didn't end my career, right? It just helped me get motivated to keep moving forward.
Yeah, and it's amazing, two different minds thinking two different things.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
Coach Hawk on earlier today out from Rolla up in Missouri,
Yeah.
and he said he has a kid that comes back in the room. Now he went off to military and basic, and now he comes back in the room. So he tells me the story. He says this kid gets one win the entire year. His senior, I mean, just horrible. He's getting killed. He gets one win the entire year. It's to the kid who only had one loss the entire year and won the state championship. He said, my kid is down 14-0 and bridges and catches the kid with a half and pins him. And it's his only win all year. And it's the state championship, only loss all year. So now every
Oh,
kid
wow.
comes back in the room, he's like, hey, coach, remember when I beat the state champ?
That's great.
The state champ's probably like, oh, man.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right. That's the beautiful thing about wrestling. Anyone can be beat at any time.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, so any of your wrestlers catch you with like a slick move in practice?
Yeah, I mean, I wrestle, so I wrestle probably, I would say 3 to 4 times a week. And, I mean, I had some great battles. Brock is pretty slick. He'll hit me with some slick stuff. Caden Rooks he's pretty slick as well. And, I get some guys that can, hit some pretty slick stuff. Fernie Silva, he's really quick. He's another guy that could hit me in some slick stuff. So I try to keep it real tight so they can't do it.
All right. And I was told to ask, how come you never carry Rudy up the basketball stairs?
Oh yeah, no way. Rudy, come on. there's no way I could carry Rudy up there. Rudy has to carry me about 100 times.
Oh man. So tell people out there what you guys do, and so they understand what kind of
Yeah, I mean, we for college wrestling, especially in the Big Ten, it's all about it's about the mental grind. It's a long season, and a big chunk of it is wrestling other Big Ten opponents. So you're talking about teams ranked in the top 20 in the country from week in and week out, and so we have to train with that intensity. So we're whether it's buddy carries, carrying guys up the stadium, up and down, we did a workout on the track where you're carrying, like you had to carry someone, like a baby carry. You had to run around the track without dropping them. Just anything to, physically exhaust you, but mentally exhaust you as well.
I'm
And
guessing Rudy is one of your big boys.
oh yeah, he's our heavyweight. Rudy is a heavy. That's what I said. I'm not carrying him.
And then let's see. I was told that you really suck at spike ball.
Now that's a lie. That's a lie. No, we get in some pretty intense spike ball games. It's usually it's the coaching staff versus athletes. So we get after it a lot.
Yeah, they said that you're always getting your butt kicked at spike ball.
Yeah, no way. There's no way. They're just mad that I'm just so good.
Hey, so we found a thing on. I think I sent the link to Brock. It's called Spike Buoy, and you click it to the bottom of the little legs there, and then it comes with a little weight that you put in the bag, and it drops to the bottom of the pool, and now the spike thing floats on the top.
Oh, that's cool. You could do it in the pool.
Yeah, so now I'm sure Indiana's got a big Olympic pool.
Yeah,
where you guys
that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Go to where our team swims. Like the swimming pool, and throw a spike ball in there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it was called Spike Buoy or something. I can message you when I get off, but
yeah.
My wife and kids found it, so now when the kids are in the pool, they got spike ball. Plus, that's the only time I can compete, because if it's out of the pool, they're kicking my butt.
Oh, that's funny,
man. So let's talk about my 10 questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right, Freddy's or Dairy Cottage?
Ooh, Freddy's.
Big Boys or Pizza Pete?
Pizza Pete.
The Speedway or Lucas Oil?
Lucas Oil.
Hoosier Pie or Hoosier Chili?
Hoosier Chili.
Colts or Pacers?
Colts.
Fort Wayne Zoo or Indiana Zoo?
Indiana Zoo.
Bird or Reggie?
Bird.
Walsh or the Beast?
The Beast.
More prestigious, Fargo or 32?
I'm a freestyle guy, so I'm going Fargo.
All right, better tournament, Schultz or Farrell?
Ooh, Schultz.
That's awesome, man. Well, those are my 10 questions. I like
All right.
getting those out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Even though I will say, like you threw me a lot of those Pacers, and I'm a Chicago fan. I'm right.
Cool.
I'm a region guy, so I'm a Bulls. So I would have said Bulls and Bears.
Yeah, well, it seems like I had somebody on from a town in Michigan or something, and when I looked up the surroundings, I was like, damn, he's got Indiana right there, Detroit right there, Chicago across the lake. I'm like, man, so you can hit some. Who do you root for? I mean, you never root for the Lions.
Right, never, not the Lions.
So
no
take
way.
them out, because they're just horrible. now you got the Colts and the Bears and the Michigan teams. So yeah, it's awesome. Well, it's an absolute. I hear your name a lot, and I'm glad I finally got an opportunity to meet you and talk with you. And I hope we can do it more often. And you're always welcome. And anybody in your circle, anyone you know that you think would be great for the show, please share my link with them. Feel free. And any of your athletes want to come on? Cool,
I would love to get some more guys on here.
Yeah, please feel free. I think you have my link. Brock probably shared it with you.
Yep.
And man, let's do this more often.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Maybe we can get you a recruiting class with you on it. once you're allowed to be on with them, because
Right. Yeah.
I know there's times you can't. But
Right. No, that'll be awesome.
all right, Coach. Hey, thanks so
All
much.
righty.
Appreciate it.
Yep. We'll see ya.